tweeting Tuesdays here at the Rogers Center. Follow the Blue Jays on Twitter at twitter.com/Blue Jays. Submit your questions on Twitter to @BlueJays and ask Buck or Pat. And we could choose yours as the Twitter questions of the game. Answer Twitter trivia questions, and you could win prizes such as Tweeting Tuesday t-shirts or autographed baseballs. Now let's send it upstairs to Pat and Buck.
Thank you, Sammy. Blue Jays all set to play game 2 here against Juan Samuel and the Orioles. The Orioles have lost 10 straight games to Toronto this season. They'll try to turn things around here tonight. This is the lineup Samuel has made out for tonight's ball game. Julio Lugo is at second base. Brian Roberts started there last night. Lugo, over his last 13 games, has swung a hot bat. 341 average, a couple of triples, and he's driven home 7. Tejada Marquez, middle of the order. Luke Scott had a home run here in last night's game, his 17th of the season. Catcher Matt Waiter, just off the disabled list, hit 2 home runs, his first multi-home run game of his young career.
Ricky Romero gets the call tonight. He has been a different pitcher since his 2 rough outings right before the All-Star break. Ricky has allowed just 3 earned runs in 14 innings in his first 2 starts of the second half of the season. One of those coming against these Baltimore Orioles when he beat them July the 16th, 4-2. And what I really like about Romero so far in the second half, he has thrown 7 innings against the Orioles and 7 innings against the Tigers. He has gone deep into the ball game, something he didn't do the last 2 starts of the first half.
Well, you stay out there longer, you give yourself a better chance to win. The defense behind Ricky Romero, this team has not committed an error in the last 5 ball games. Lewis, Wells, and Bautista in the outfield. Yunel Escobar, Aaron Hill up the middle, Edwin Encarnacion, Lyle Overbay at the corners, and John Buck is back behind the plate tonight to flash the signs to Ricky Romero.
Edwin Encarnacion has played some great defense. He's been a highlight reel of plays down at third base. The last time he made an error was the first game of the second half down in Baltimore, and he's been great ever since.
So we're set for action here tonight. It'll be Julio Lugo leading things off against Ricky Romero. Good strike right at the knees to start the ball game. We mentioned Lugo did not play in last night's game, and there's the reason he's playing tonight against Ricky Romero. He hit .324 against left-handers this season. Good changeup. Good start for Romero here.
You can always tell in the first inning if a pitcher has his good stuff, and if those first 2 pitches are any indication, Romero's got a good crisp fastball.
Bite on that curveball. Buck was able to block it. Looks like he might have taken it off that thumb. Took his catcher's mitt off and kind of moved that thumb around. But every once in a while you get an awkward ball off the thumb of that catcher's mitt.
He was telling us earlier this year that he has never caught a pitcher whose ball moves as much as Ricky Romero. He has had to learn how to catch him because he's so difficult.
Curveball, strikeout. Julio Lugo is the first strikeout victim for Ricky Romero tonight. And what a hook. Boy, he threw him a great curveball, bounced in the dirt, and came right back with a better one.
What an impressive start to the game. First of all, fastball, strike 1. Changeup, strike 2. And then the knee buckler right here to Lugo, right to the back foot. That's where you want to throw it when you've got a good one to a right-hander for the first out.
Miguel Tejada 0 for 5 in last night's game. Bouncing ball to short. Easy play for Escobar, and Tejada is out. 2 quick outs here in the first.
Very good sign for Romero. Let's take a look at the scouting report for tonight's starter. The fastball is back. Not so much speed, but the location. It was up, now it's down. Changeup over the plate. He's got the type of changeup that does not fade away from right-handers. It's over the plate and then it's gone, which is very impressive. And he has had Oriole magic this season versus Baltimore. 2-0 with an ERA under 1 versus Baltimore this season.
Nick Markakis takes the ball. Markakis, the right fielder. He was 1 for 3 in last night's game. Markakis had a single. He was hit by a pitch and walked. Well, Romero looks sharp here in the early going.
That is the one thing that was missing right towards the All-Star break. The fastball didn't have the good pop that we saw from Romero in the early parts of the season. It's back, and it's down, which is important for him.
Bouncing ball to second. Aaron Hill. What a quick inning for Ricky Romero. 3 up, 3 down, no problem. Just 8 pitches for Romero. Spot for Cito Gas in his last 10 games. He's been on fire. 5 doubles, 4 home runs. He's driven in 14 games, and he's hitting at a .333 clip. Bautista really has slowed things down at the plate. Not so much the big wild swing. He's getting his pitch, and when he does, he's not missing it.
He certainly is, and that ball was like a rocket to left field yesterday. Kevin Millwood spent 15 days on the disabled list at the beginning of this month. He was reinstated on July the 22nd for his start that day and pitched into the 7th inning. You can see his record at 2-9. He lost that game to the Twins and tries to stop a 3-game winless streak of starts.
Fred Lewis starts things off, takes the ball outside. Has the count in his favor. 5 triples, that ties him for 6th in the American League. Two-seam fastball for a strike. It's a ball and a strike. When you break Fred Lewis down as a leadoff hitter, he's first in slugging percentage, he's first in doubles, and he's third in triples out of the leadoff spot in the American League.
How about all the extra base hits for that #1 hitter?
And a good cut fastball. That's the one pitch that Lewis has trouble with. That pitch about belt high on the inner half.
They've got to get it under his hands or he's going to make you pay for it. There are his numbers since the All-Star break. 3 doubles, home run, and 4 runs driven in.
A ball and 2 strikes. Opposite field, base hit, Fred Lewis. Tejada dove for it. It just got past him as he stuck his glove out, but it was too late. Leadoff base hit for Lewis.
Not sure if it went under his glove or between his glove and his arm. It did. He just missed it. That ball off a left-handed batter slicing at the third baseman with some good movement. Tejada can't come up with it.
Now this is where the Blue Jays can be very dangerous early with Lewis and Escobar in the top 2 spots in the lineup. Escobar riding a 9-game hit streak. Lewis broke for second, and Escobar shows bunt. Lots of things going on that you didn't see with this ball club early in the season.
When they're bunting, when they're hitting and running, they're going to steal bases more. When you have these 2 type of hitters at the top of the lineup, the options just go up for Cito Gaston and the Blue Jays.
Two balls and no strikes.
He shows great patience at the plate.
There's numbers since the trade from Atlanta. 9 games. He's at .359 with 2 doubles, 2 home runs, and he's driven home 7. And you're right, he is a very patient hitter.
The best at-bat that I remember from Escobar was the at-bat he had in Kansas City when he fell behind 0-2. Battled. They tried to drop breaking balls on him, but he would not bite at it. They tried to slip a fastball by him, and he homered.
2 balls and a strike. Lewis gets back to first. Kevin Moore just 2-9 on the season. He signed in the offseason as a free agent. He's in his 14th big league season. Started out with the Braves way back in '97 as a 22-year-old. Sharply hit, but foul.
Last one on June the 24th versus the Florida Marlins. Did Kevin Milwood. That was his second win in a row. His only 2 wins of the season. They brought him over here from Texas thinking that he would anchor this pitching staff, but it hasn't worked out that way. Part of the problem is they haven't been able to score many runs.
They don't have much of an offense. Full count. Again, Escobar showing great discipline at the plate.
When you try and throw a breaking ball to this guy, he has an idea at the plate what he wants to do. Now a chance for the Blue Jays to start something a little early here.
There goes Lewis. It's hit foul down the right field line. Lewis was moving on the pitch. Escobar had a double down that right field line in last night's game and came in the 5th inning. Came around to score on Jose Bautista's 3-run homer. Well, we have seen him now for 9 games, and certainly he doesn't fall in any patterns. You cannot defend him one particular way. He sprays the ball all over the yard.
Teams have tried the second baseman covering on steals.
Lewis not running, and this ball again is popped into the seats.
They have flip-flopped in at bats and had shortstops covering when runners start their movement. If the second baseman tries to steal, or tries to cover on a steal attempt here, if Fred Lewis takes over, you see Omar Malave talking to him. Escobar has that ability to wait as long as possible and ground the ball into right field.
Base hit left field. One hopper right to PA. It's first and second, nobody out as Lewis stops at second.
Or you can yank it into left field for a base hit. This is an offense that has really blossomed over their last 16 games. Look at the ranks in the American League. Home runs, of course, #1, and doubles #1 with 45. But the batting average and the runs per game, very impressive when you talk about the likes of the Yankees and the Boston Red Sox and Tampa Bay.
Well, now with runners at first and second, nobody out, Jose Bautista takes the breaking ball outside. Bautista hit the 3-run home run in the 5th, his 28th of the season.
Millwood has had a lot of trouble settling in the first inning.
Long drive left field. This ball is out of here. Number 29 for Jose Bautista. 3-0 Blue Jays.
RBI 71, 2 and 3 come across very quickly. That's where Sammy Cos was standing, wasn't he, during the opening? Right in that area, the second deck in left field. And Bautista paints him with a fastball right down Broadway. He is so quick on the inner half. No doubt about
it. 29 home runs, an early lead. Vernon Wells drives one to right. Markakis is going to have room right on the edge of the warning track. First out of the inning. Jose Bautista now has 73 RBI. We mentioned he was tied with Mark Teixeira at the start. You see now he is 5 home runs ahead of Miguel Cabrera.
What a month of July for Jose Bautista now.
9 home runs this month, including the All-Star break, 4 days off. Adam Lind.
What is the talk in baseball, that home runs come in bunches?
Boy.
Those are bushel barrels full.
Yeah. And his bunch started in September
of last year.
Well, we mentioned Adam Lind and Aaron Hill in our open, how they are heating up and really starting to swing the bats in last night's game. Lind had 3 hits, a single, a double, and a home run. 2 RBI. He scored a couple of runs. Plays off the breaking pitch.
One of the things that he is working with Dwayne Murphy, the hitting coach of the Blue Jays, is trying to stay in the middle of the field. Murph was telling me today that he feels like he gets into bad habits when he tries pulling the ball. You start doing that, the head comes out, the shoulder comes out. But when Adam Lind is staying in the middle of the field, driving the ball the other way, he has games like he did last night.
Off speed pitch, 86 for the strikeout. And Lind goes down there, 2 outs. Let's check in with Sam Constantino.
Buck talked to several players today about the ball flying out of here yesterday, but Cito Gaston provided the most ironclad theory, I believe. When you look at the buildings outside the Rogers Center, those didn't exist some time ago. And you go back to maybe 10 years and the ball didn't carry as much. This is more of a fair ballpark. He thinks with all these buildings around, it significantly affected the wind current, and that's why the ball's really starting to jump out of here.
Well, I will stand behind Cito's assessment, as he knows so much about this ballpark and hitting. But that might make an awful lot of sense, because when this place opened up in '89, there was nothing around it.
And it was really hard to hit the ball out of left center field, especially when the roof was open.
Aaron Hill pops it up into shallow center field. Adam Jones comes on. He calls for it, and the Blue Jays are retired here in the first. But not till they get 3 hits and a 3-run home run. Jose Bautista leads the Blue Jays are 20-11, but look at the home runs. 32 games, 69 home runs.
Silly numbers. I mean, silly numbers. And it's not just the home runs. How about the earned run average of 3.5? Pretty impressive by the pitchers, and pretty impressive by that guy right there, Jose Bautista.
Luke Scott drives one to center field. Vernon Wells turns and runs to the warning track. He's got room, and he makes the catch.
You can win an all-new Honda CRZ and other great prizes when you vote for the Honda Play of the Month. Vote today at BlueJays.com.
Adam Jones, a center fielder, hitting just 184 this year against the Blue Jays and has 11 strikeouts. They've really done a good job of giving him a steady diet of off-speed pitches.
Struck out 3 times in last night's game. They pitched him tough, did Morrow. Fastballs up, breaking balls away. They went inside, they went outside. I think Adam Jones is going to be a star.
He's already made a trip to the All-Star game in his young career. He is scuffling right now along with some of his teammates, hitting just .216 over his last 10 games. How much does it help Ricky Romero to have this early lead?
Oh, he can just attack the strike zone, go right after it. If he makes a mistake, hey, no problem. I have thrown 16 double play ground balls. This is where you want to just go in there and throw strikes.
That's drilled to left field. Fred Lewis can't make a play, and it bounces one hop out of the ballpark. Ground rule double for Adam Jones. That ball was smoked.
That's why he is a very good player. He can turn on that inside fastball. It looked like Fred Lewis had a shot at it, but it's just a couple of inches away from his glove and bounces out of play.
It's the 14th double of the season for Adam Jones. He's at second now for Matt Wieters with one out. Wieters batting right-handed. He is a switch hitter. First pitch, strike to Wieters. Wieters had his first multi-home run game of his career last night. 2 for 2, hit 2 homers, drove in 3 runs, and walked twice. Off-speed pitch, just got a piece of it, fouled it off into the glove of Buck.
Got to stay on that changeup right there. Off speed, down and away, and that's the changeup that we were talking about from Romero that he has. It's over the plate and then down. It goes straight down. It's not your typical left-hander changeup where it fades away from the right-handed batter.
Just missed the inside corner. A ball and 2 strikes here. 1 out in the top of the second. Blue Jays have jumped out early against Baltimore. Jose Bautista has homered for the 3rd consecutive game. Two balls and 2 strikes. Jones with the 1-out double. He's at second. Just off the outside corner.
Showing a good eye at the plate for such a big hitter. Wieters is about 6'4", 6'5". He walked his first 2 times up in yesterday's game, showing very good patience. Now battles his way back to a 3-2 count against Romero tonight.
Full count. Got him. Went up and away with the fastball. Wieters goes down, turns to ask Alfonso Marquez, the umpire, if that was a strike, and Romero has his 2nd strikeout.
Good late movement right at the end of this pitch. See it get right underneath the bat of Matt Wieters. If he doesn't swing the bat, I think that's a called strike too. So Romero picks up his 2nd strikeout.
Romero's got a chance to get out of the inning now with the left-hander Felix Pie batting with 2 outs. Bounce to first. Fair ball. Overbale take it himself. Romero does strand that base runner. Ricky Romero gives up a double, but nothing else. Blue Jays lead it 3-0.
Tabler, with all the talk in the media, how do players handle trade rumors around this time of season? And you'd probably be best to answer that one.
Well, first of all, let me say, when players say they don't hear that or they don't care about trade rumors, that's a lie. Don't believe them, because they do. They hear it and they do care. But how do players handle it? Well, really, there's nothing they can do. They are out there to perform and to perform to their best ability. That's something that they have control over. They don't have control over rumors, who starts it, where they might get traded, or anything like that. But it does affect them. Best way to handle it is just go out there and do your job.
Sometimes it's more difficult for some than others, but all you can do is play the game and don't anticipate anything till they go to the podium. Lyle Overbay cuts on the first pitch. Well, if you start chasing all the rumors and get caught up in all of that, it'll drive you nuts.
How about now, today? There's tweeting and there's the internet, and back in the day there wasn't even ESPN in the day.
Now you'd hear about it 2 days after the trade. Chase to high, went 0-2. Tell me about the first time you were traded. How did you hear about it?
I had just gone to Wendy's and got my lunch. I was in Columbus in AAA. It was a couple of days before the strike in 1981. And I heard about it, and I took that bag of hamburgers and fired it against the wall.
Strike three call. Fastball right on the inside corner. Millwood strikes out Overbay. Second strikeout for Millwood.
Pretty good sequence right there by Kevin Millwood against Lyle Overbay. Up, down, and now inside to get him for his third strikeout. Nobody wants to be traded their first time.
Especially your first organization. Yeah, that's a heartbreaker.
You spend 6 years in one organization. You're right on the cusp of going to the major leagues, and you get traded. But sometimes it's the best thing for you.
Every time I moved to a new team, the situation got better. My first trade came in the winter of 1977. I played 8 years in Kansas City. Part of the first championship there in 76. Didn't play at all in 77. We got Darryl Porter, and he did most of the catching. But I knew I was going to be traded, but I got a call from the traveling secretary.
You knew something was up then, right?
Yeah, in the middle of December in Mayaguez, Puerto Rico. Rene Latchman was my manager, and he called me in the office and said, Kansas City's on the phone. They want to talk to you. And that's when I found out that I had been traded to Milwaukee.
Were you ever traded during the season where you had to pick up and move and start again?
1981. I was designated for assignment about 7 o'clock before a 7:30 game in Anaheim. Buck Rogers is the manager of the Brewers, called me in the office and said, we need a roster spot. We're going to activate Molitor. We're going to designate you for assignment.
Now, wait a minute. They wanted to put Molitor on the roster and take you off?
I was the fourth catcher on that team.
What were they thinking?
We were carrying 4 catchers at that time. But now that's and I quickly called my wife and said, stay at the hotel. There's no need to come to the ballpark tonight. 2-2 to John Buck. Breaking ball bounced in the dirt. But then I went home, went to my parents' house actually in Sacramento, and sat for a couple of days and got a call from the Toronto Blue Jays. Pat Gillick was on the phone and said, we have made a deal. You're coming to Toronto. And I thought I'd be in Toronto for the rest of the 81 season, and that would be it. Thank you very much. Go away. John Buck's been a hot hitter over his last 9 games. Wow. Pretty good pitch. Ball 4. A 1-out walk issued by Kevin Millwood.
Right before Jose Bautista hit that home run, we were talking about the first inning troubles that Kevin Millwood has had. Now 10 in his last 11 starts. He has allowed at least 2 earned runs in the first inning. So if you're going to get them, you got to get them early.
And it's oftentimes the case with pitchers in the first inning. If they can get through that first inning, they generally get into the flow of the game pretty well. Millwood throws a first pitch strike to Edwin Encarnacion. Edwin has been on a hot streak himself over his last 10 games, hitting .375. Oh, 0-2. But the problem for starting pitchers, they try to adjust to the game mound, try to control their emotions, try to find out where the strike zone is for that particular umpire that night. All the while dealing with the toughest part of the lineup.
And it certainly is different from the bullpen to the mound, the game mound. But right now, Millwood is starting to look locked in.
Well, he makes a great pitch to Encarnacion with a fastball on the outside corner.
I think the argument that Encarnacion's going to have is, didn't you just call this same pitch ball 4 to John Buck? But no, says Alfonso Marquez. Catches the outside corner, plenty high enough.
Second strikeout of the inning for Millwood, third of the night. The Blue Jays will turn the lineup over. It'll be Fred Lewis, who singled and scored in the first. High fly ball to left field. Felix Pierre over toward the line. And the Blue Jays retired. John Buck gets the walk and nothing more. Blue Jays lead it 3-0 after 2. Jose Bautista hit me a home run. He follows directions very well. 3 straight games Bautista has hit a home run. His home run tonight is 28th of the season. His 29th of the season. Sorry, Jose.
Don't shortchange him.
I did.
And that sign is right where he hit it.
Jake Fox fouls one off John Buck.
Did they put that sign up after he hit the home run?
Yeah, he's moved.
Oh, okay. I was going to say that's some pretty good ESPN.
I got enough trouble staying on the right page of my scorebook. Jake Fox leads things off here. He was 2 for 4 last night. Pitch outside. Take a look at the home run Bautista hit. There's the sign, and sure enough.
Wow.
Hit it right over the top of that sign.
It was right there all the time. They've got the jersey and everything.
That was a setup. Bautista, what a stroke he's developed.
He is so quick. Try and slip a fastball by him. Forget about trying to throw by him in a fastball count. He's going to be all over it.
Bouncing ball. Overbay wide of first to Ricky Romero. Fox is retired. 1 up, 1 down. Lyle Overbay plays aggressive. Pitchers know it. Anything hit to that right side, pitcher's got to break for the bag at first because Overbay will range far and wide to make plays on those grounders. One quick out here in the third. Ricky Romero trying to win his third straight game against the Orioles. He is 2-0 with a very good ERA coming into this game against Baltimore, 0.56.
And that is called making adjustments. Last year, the Baltimore Orioles gave Ricky Romero a lot of trouble. He was 0-2 with an ERA up over 5 against the O's. This year, he has come right after him, and he's pitched some of his best games.
Cesar Astura's chases that big curveball. 0-2. Romero's improved in every aspect of his pitching. Last year, gave up 18 home runs. This year, just 8 so far. Another curveball, another strikeout. Third strikeout of the night for Ricky Romero.
You know, and it's not just Ricky Romero who is doing all the damage against the Baltimore Orioles this year. This is the whole team. The Blue Jays have really ganged up on Baltimore this year. And batting average, home runs, runs scored, just about everything. And hasn't been pretty at times.
Now, they have certainly dominated the Orioles, and those numbers reflect the first 10 games of this matchup. Hit another home run here tonight. Ricky Romero falls behind the leadoff batter, Julio Lugo. 2 outs here in the third. Two balls and no strikes. The 10-game win streak is the 6th time the Blue Jays have won 10 or more games in a row against an opponent. They also have a 13-game win streak against the Orioles that started in 1999 and carried over to 2000. Line drive center field. Vernon Wells, great running catch. Wells timed it perfectly. He got a good jump and just tracked it down. Lugo made a bid for extra bases, but he is robbed by Vernon Wells. Jose Bautista doing the trick. Yunel Escobar bats for the second time tonight. Plays off the cut fastball down and away. Escobar extended his hit streak to 10 games. He's hit in every game since he's joined the Blue Jays. Right on the button. Escobar drills it to left field. A leadoff single here in the third.
Don't elevate the ball to that guy because he's going to hurt you. Don't elevate it to any of these Blue Jays because they can hit some home runs. Look what they have done in the month of July now. 38 home runs by the team. Better than the Brewers and the Yankees, Cubs, and Reds. They have really juiced the ball in the month of July.
Jose Bautista really jumped on that Millwood pitch back in the first, a 3-run homer.
There are just certain guys that you feel more comfortable with. And the numbers of Jose Bautista has against Kevin Millwood are off the charts. With that home run in the first inning, now 5 for 10 with 3 home runs against him.
Lays off the breaking pitch, 2-0. Bautista with 9 home runs in the month of July. There's a pitch on the corner. Okay, there's the sign, and that's where he hit the first one. Above that sign in the second deck in left field. Bautista just stepped out of the box, and Millwood threw a strike. Just lost his focus and kind of gave up on that pitch.
Probably asked for time, but not loud enough for the home plate umpire, Alfonso Marquez, to hear it.
Now, you can't leave the batter's box until you hear the umpire holler time. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Base hit center field. Escobar will stop at second. Blue Jays have 5 hits already against Millwood.
Elevated again. Fastball up. Bautista has been hitting everything in sight. Millwood tries to go up. And you're going to get hurt up there. And Bautista bangs it into left field for a base hit. 5 home runs and 13 RBIs versus the Orioles this season alone for Bautista.
First 3 guys in the order have all 5 hits. So now Vernon Wells will bat with nobody out. Runners at first and second. First pitch strike for Millwood. Wells just 4 for 26 against Millwood. Breaking ball, cut on and missed. 0-2. 2 of his 4 hits have been home runs. Interesting numbers for Vernon Wells. Just 205 with runners in scoring position. Almost chased that high fastball, and that's pretty much the way the league attacks Vernon Wells. Get a couple of strikes on him, try to elevate that heater.
I remember the at-bat he had in Baltimore where they got him to swing at one of those. Detroit also got him to swing at one around the shoulders.
Bounced and blocked by Wieters. When you look at Vernon Wells and just kind of look at the average, you forget where he is among the American League in the offensive categories. He's 4th in extra base hits, 7th in doubles, tied for 7th in home runs. I mean, he's in the top 10 in all the important offensive categories.
29 doubles, a triple, 20 home runs. I guess that's what you want to get out of your number 4 hitter, right?
Production. Good pitch spoiled right there by Wells. He went down and golfed a low breaking ball.
Sitting right at 100 hits for the season now for Vernon Wells.
This is the 101st game. Two balls and 2 strikes. Blue Jays up 3-0. Again, Millwood takes an awful long time, and Wieters is going to go out and have a visit with the veteran. Millwood's 35 years old. We had talked about him starting his career in Atlanta with the Braves. Another one of those good young starting pitchers the Braves were so good at developing.
What a staff Leo Mazzoni had to work with down there, and they all seemed to feed off of each other. Millwood came up in the Glavin, Maddox, and Smoltz era.
Wells grounds it to second. Bilgo has been one play, and that's the first, and Wells stays out of the double play and moves the runners up.
Well, speaking of home runs, and that's been a topic that we have talked about tonight, Adam Lynn gets on the board. Love how he went down and got that fastball. Dropped the head of the bat on it. When he is staying through the ball and staying down and keeping it in the middle of the field, that's when he is most dangerous.
And he just missed hitting a second home run that came in the fourth inning, hit one off the top of the fence in center field. That went for a double.
This is where he has to be patient. You got first base open. You got a right-hander on deck. Millwood is going to try and mess with him and see if Adam Lynn can get himself out.
Now the big thing here is you've got to hit strikes. Get a pitch you're looking for until you get 2 strikes. Ball just a little bit up. Chased it, and he's in a hole 0-2.
That is such a tough pitch to be able to control. You either swing through it or you pop it up or foul it straight back. To stay on top of that ball, it's extremely tough. You just have to condition yourself and teach yourself, discipline yourself to make them get that ball down where you can hit it.
Again, trying to get Lynn to chase upstairs.
I asked Bobby Bonds, who was our hitting coach when I was with Cleveland, I said, how do you stop from swinging at that? He said, lower your eyesight. Just instead of looking from the shoulders to the knees, lower your eyesight, make them get that ball down.
Chase the curveball in the dirt. Lynn strikes out. 2 outs here in the third.
That was the example of a hitter getting himself out. Pitcher didn't do much to get him out. He got himself out by swinging at a couple of pitches out of the strike zone.
The great second baseman for the Oakland A's in the early 70s was Dick Green. And he used to wear his hat way down, his helmet way down over his eyes. And George Brett asked him one day, Greeny, how come you wear your helmet like that? He said, I can't hit the high pitch. And if I can't see it, I won't swing at it.
Good reason.
Aaron Hill with 2 outs and runners at second and third. Lays off the breaking pitch. And Dick Green, a very colorful part of that Oakland A's history in the early 70s. But George Brett was a big fan of Dick Green's. He always wondered why he wears a hat like that.
See, hitting can be so simple sometimes. Just wear your helmet a little bit lower.
If you can't see it, you won't swing at it. A ball and no strikes, 2 outs. Blue Jays up by 3, trying to add to their early lead. Boy, Millwood and Wieters having all sorts of problems getting on the same page. Not there yet. Bounced in the dirt. 2 balls and no strikes. This is where the balance of this lineup is so tough to work your way through. Another home run tonight. They hit 3 in last night's game. They have 153 home runs now. And you got a right-handed hitter here in Hill, base open, but you got a lefty in Overbay on deck. Good job by Hill to lay off that off-speed pitch. 3-0.
That's how you have good patience. Like an off-speed pitch, 2-0. You talk about the right-hander up and the left-hander on deck. Aaron Hill is hitting .364 against Kevin Millwood, where Lyle Overbay has already struck out 1 time tonight. He's just at .238 against Millwood in his career.
3-0. There's a strike, took something off and got it in there. Millwood doesn't give in to you. He just doesn't have the kind of stuff to pour it down the middle of the plate anymore.
Well, he's so smart. He's so aggressive. He's disciplined. He has an idea of what he wants to do to you every time he takes that mound.
3 balls and a strike, 2 outs here in the third. There's the walk. Bases are loaded now for Lyle Overbay.
Good patience right there shown by Aaron Hill, not swinging at any of those pitches off the strike zone. Take what they give you.
And sometimes they don't give you anything. So he is on at first. Lyle Overbay, the left-handed hitter, with a chance to widen the lead. Overbay was aggressive in his first at-bat, swinging early in the at-bat. Takes one just inside. Millwood made a pretty good pitch. Change up, missed low. And now Weeder is going to talk about where they go from here.
Well, it's been a tough go of it since the All-Star break for the starting rotation of the Baltimore Orioles. Look at the numbers, not very good. 1-8 with an ERA of 8.5 in the second half. They have allowed at least 10 runs 3 times since the All-Star break. And remember, the Jays got 9 of them last night. It all starts on the mound.
Been a tough road for Juan Samuel. Overbay, 3-0. The Blue Jays now have homered in 9 straight games. During that stretch, they've pounded out 23 home runs. Overbay's got a lot of room to work here. Bases loaded. 2 outs. Bases loaded, walk. Overbay picks up the RBI. Millwood walks in a run. It's 4-0 Blue Jays.
The pitcher, number 14. Kranitz, the pitching coach, out to talk to Millwood. Did you find it interesting that Aaron Hill got a lot of off-speed pitches, and then the same thing with Lyle Overbay?
No, not really, because Millwood doesn't have that good velocity he once had, and Aaron's a great fastball hitter. That's what he hit off Ferguson last night. And Millwood just knew that if he was going to get out of this situation, he's probably going to have to do it with something other than the fastball.
And it might be a situation where instead of trying harder, he was going to try easy and see if the Blue Jays got a little antsy behind the batter's box. But to their credit, Aaron Hill and Lyle Overbay, they lay off some borderline pitches, and the Blue Jays get a run out of it.
John Buck walked his first time up. 2 outs, bases are loaded. Cuts on the first pitch. Blue Jays have scored a run here in the 3rd inning. And they've got a chance to kick the door wide open. John Buck with a couple of grand slams. Well, you can see John Buck is really loading up for something down and out over the plate.
Dialed in. He's on his back foot. The pressure is on the pitcher. He's got to come to him. Early in the count, you want to hit your pitch. You don't have to swing at it unless they throw it there.
Another problem the Orioles have experienced since the All-Star break, their starters haven't given them any length. They showed you on that graphic just 5 innings per start.
That'll certainly wear out your bullpen as you get into August in the latter stages of the season.
Down the right field line, but that's back into the seats. So it's a 2-2 count to John Buck. Buck leads the majors for catchers with home runs. He has 14 home runs. Mike Napoli has 18 home runs, but he has hit 7 as a first baseman. Joe Mauer, as a catcher, has 48 RBI. John Buck has 47. Full count. Bautista's at third. He's singled. Aaron Hill walked. He's at second. Overbay with the walk. The base is loaded. 2 outs, full count. They'll be off on the pitch. Tough spot for Kevin Millwood. Popped it up. Tejada at third. Izturis now calls him off, and Izturis makes the catch. Millwood gets out of it with minimal damage. Blue Jays score a run. After 3, they lead it 4-0. We have broken down his career record, April through June. Very good win-loss record, 11-7, ERA under 3. Then you look at the second half of his season a year ago, basically, and 9-9 in the second half. Possibly a little fatigue factor as Ricky's just learning how to pitch in the big leagues as a starter.
I think you're right, and it's funny. Cito Gaston was talking about that exact same thing yesterday before the game, about all of his young starters and how they have to pace themselves to get through 162 games, and it's an experience where you just have to live it. You have to live it and learn how to do it so you can get through that 162. I think Romero is going to be a lot better in the second half this year than what he was last year. I think he understands himself. I think he understands his strengths.
Tejada hits a 2-hopper to Encarnacion. Right on the money to Overbay. First out of 4th. But getting back to Ricky Romero, this is his 21st start of the season. A year ago, he made 29 starts, pitched 178 innings. Now, with his 3 innings plus here tonight, he's up to 133.
And they were hard innings last year. Those 178 innings. He gave up 192 hits last year, which takes its toll on a young pitcher, all those pitches. This year, he has had less hits per innings pitched, something that I always turn to when we talk about pitchers. How many hits per innings pitched? How many strikeouts per inning? Ricky Romero's numbers, when you compare last year to this year, so much better this year.
Markakis lifts it to left field. Fred Lewis has plenty of room over near the foul line and makes the catch in fair territory. 2 quick outs for Romero.
See, I think there's something to say about how those innings were put together by Romero last year.
Yeah, and early on, he had some oblique problems early in the season. Came back, and they really were conservative with him. But when you look at his strikeouts per 9 innings a year ago, 7.1 this year, up to 8. His hits per 9 innings have gone down. Walks per 9 innings have gone down. Everything that you want to see in Ricky Romero is moving in the right direction.
How about pitches per inning? Just 15 pitches per inning this year.
Down a full pitch from last year. 1 pitch per inning. Course of a ball game, 12-15 pitches, you get an extra inning. Luke Scott with 2 outs. lays off the curveball, the ball on the strike. So that's what you want to see with your young pitching staff. Improvement from the first year to this year, from the first month to the last month, and from inning to inning.
How about from game to game, from start to start, whatever you want to call it, from team to team? His numbers against the Orioles last year were not very good. This year, much better.
Fred Cecil, certainly in the same vein. Jesse Litch, maybe a little bit more experienced, but he missed an entire year with the elbow surgery. 2 balls and a strike to Luke Scott. Ducks back from an up and in fastball. And I think that's why this is so encouraging what this ball club has done to this point, because the young pitchers have been very consistent. Luke Scott pops it up. Foul territory, up the first baseline. Overbay is there and makes the catch. Another 9-pitch inning for Ricky Romero. He is in a groove against the O's.
Question of the game: who was the last Blue Jays player to hit a grand slam? Winner of this will get an autographed baseball. You can send your answer to @BlueJays.
Last grand slam home run.
It did not happen that long ago.
No, it didn't.
So everybody should get that.
Edwin Encarnacion was a strikeout victim his last time up. Cuts on the first pitch and hits it a mile high in the foul ground. Tejada over in front of the seats and makes the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the 4th.
Left fielder, number 15, Fred Lewis.
A beautiful night here at Rogers Center. And the Blue Jays continue to pound out home runs here in this ballpark. They've hit now 83 home runs with Bautista's home run in the first. 83 home runs at home this year.
Blowing everybody out of the water, aren't they?
12 more than the Cincinnati Reds have hit.
And that is a launching pad in Cincinnati. Great American Ballpark.
Coming into this game tonight, Cincinnati at 71 home runs at Great America Ballpark.
You know what's impressive about the number of home runs that the Blue Jays have hit here at Rogers Center? They are going to end up with fewer home games than any of the teams in baseball.
They had the 3-game series with the Phillies moved to Philadelphia. That was a home game. And Blue Jays will have 34 more home games left, including this game tonight. They're going to hit over 100 home runs here at home. Maybe by next week. Fred Lewis looks at a curveball just off the plate outside. 2 balls in, 2 strikes with 1 out here in the 4th inning. Kevin Millwood really dodged a bullet last inning when he stranded the bases loaded. Broken bat grounder through there into center field. Fred Lewis has his 2nd hit of the night.
You could win an all-new Honda CRZ and other great prizes when you vote for the Honda Play of the Month. Vote today at BlueJays.com.
Yunel Escobar is a perfect 2 for 2 tonight. He singled the left field twice and scored a couple of runs. Average up to 390. Lewis draws a throw.
When we were in Detroit, the bottom of the lineup was just raking against the Tigers. John Buck had some big games, and Edwin Encarnacion had a big game, Lyle Overbay. But tonight, top of the lineup and doing all the damage.
The ball is popped up into center field. Markakis over. Jones calls him off, and the center fielder makes the catch. 2 down here in the 4th.
Right fielder, number 19, Jose Bautista.
And here's the man, Jose Bautista, a 3-run homer and a single. His average up to 249.
Look at the RBIs. 73 RBIs for Bautista. This was our leadoff hitter when the season started.
Boy, that's another thing that you have a tendency to forget. He was the leadoff hitter basically by default. You see what he's done over his last 3 games. Homered in 3 consecutive games. 6 for 10. Breaking ball in the dirt. But Cito Gaston didn't have anybody else. He literally didn't have anybody else to hit first in this batting order. But when Fred Lewis was acquired, he naturally stepped right into the leadoff spot, and what a job he's done. But even more important, what he's done is Cito Gaston then had the ability to drop Bautista down into the order.
Take advantage of all those extra base hits from Jose Bautista. They had auditions in spring training for the leadoff batter.
Joey Gathright was in the camp. He had a chance to make this ball club, and Cito Gaston just needed a little speed at the top of the order. That's an interesting picture right there. Adam Lynn sitting next to Cito Gaston. This is what they did all year last year. And Cito would give Lynn a game plan for his next at bat. Look at that. Millwood threw a breaking ball. 3-0.
You know how he can hit those fastballs. You can see why as Lewis gets a quick look from Malave to see if he's going on this 3-1 pitch.
Not running. Breaking ball popped back over the screen. Bautista got a pretty good pitch to hit. Why is a high breaking ball easy to hit?
Because it speeds your bat up. It's right in your home run swing. The high fastball is hard to hit because it's straight. You got to get on top of it. That curveball right into the home run swing.
There goes the runner, a shot into left field. Fred Lewis around second. He's headed to third. Piet's throw down near third base, and on the throw, Bautista will go to second. Piet just kind of threw that back in the direction of the infield with no target in mind at all. And Tejada didn't help him out. He was standing about 25 feet away from third, so Bautista gets a single.
Well, Bautista rips it by Tejada. He's got to dive for the ball, so he's really out in no man's land. There's no play at third base. With Fred Lewis going on the 3-2 pitch, he's going to make it to third base, no problem. The throw should have gone into second base. But Piet just tries to get it back to the infield. It goes off of Tejada's glove. That'll be scored, a base hit and an error as Jose Bautista takes second on the error.
Bautista 3 for 3 tonight. Blue Jays now with 7 hits. All in the top 3 spots in the batting order. Vernon Wells with 2 outs and 2 on. Takes a high fastball.
Detroit, it was the bottom of the order. Here in this series, it's the top of the order. Jay's looking for a big hit here.
Left field, and that's a big hit right there. It'll hit and go off the wall. 2 runs will come in to score. Lewis scores, and right behind him, Bautista, as Vernon Wells delivers a big hit to make it 6-0.
In last night's game, it was Jose Bautista who came up with, I think, the biggest hit of the game. That 3-run homer. It made it from 4-0 to 7-0. A couple of runners in scoring position. Your number 4 hitter up, you've got to cash it in. Fastball that is elevated. Vernon Wells doesn't miss it this time. Rocketing one ball into left field for 2 RBIs. 30 doubles now for Vernon Wells.
And 55 RBI for the Jays center fielder. 6-0 Blue Jays. Lind has struck out twice. Popped back out of play. Blue Jays coming out of the All-Star breaks 7-4. They have now hit 17 home runs in 12 games since the All-Star break. Even more impressive with that double of Vernon Wells. They have now hit 35 doubles in 12 games. That's putting pressure on the pitcher.
Yeah, that's piling up the base hits, making it awfully tough for the team to come back.
Off-speed pitch fouled off at the plate. Blue Jays need to build some momentum. Get a cushion between the 500 mark. As we speak, 2 games over 500 at 51-49. But the second half of the season is important. Last year, the last 62 games of the season, they went 26-36.
August is going to be a brutal schedule for the Blue Jays.
Then goes down for a 3rd time. He chases the curveball, but the Blue Jays add a couple of more. Vernon Wells drives in 2. It's 6-0 Blue Jays after. With his number 12 up on the level of excellence, and we're happy to welcome him into our booth here tonight. Robbie, great to see you. Good to have you back in Toronto.
Well, thank you. It's nice to be back at home.
Yeah, it is definitely your home. What brings you to town?
Well, I came to St. Mary's, and I was working in baseball clinics with the girls, Boys and Girl Club, and it was nice to be there and enjoy those days, and came here to Toronto to bring a friend of mine that idolized me since I was since he was real young, and now he signed with the Blue Jays.
All right, had a workout today and he signed with the Blue Jays?
Yeah, he got a good workout, and I'm so happy because this is a dream for him. And at least I can say that I made somebody a dream come true.
Look out. Ricky Romero jumps back from a Jones base hit. 2 hits for Jones here tonight.
So who signed for the Blue Jays? Is that official?
Yeah, it's going to be official, I think, tomorrow. His name is Christian Frias, and he's going to go down to A-ball and see, hopefully, one day you can see him in the big leagues.
That's awesome. And he's from your hometown, Salinas, Puerto Rico?
He's from my hometown, the little Robbie.
Well, you know what? Paul Beeston, he doesn't mind. Anytime you announce anything, he'll validate it.
I hope he validated. He better be.
You've had a chance, I'm sure, to watch Yunel Escobar over the years, and give us your assessment of Escobar and his physical skills and what he might be able to bring to this ball club.
Well, I think he's going to bring a lot to this ball club. I've been watching him for the last 5 games, and he's able to do a lot of things in this game that a lot of people cannot do, especially like bunting, hitting with men on first. He can handle the bat real well, and I know he has the type of body that's going to hit for power too. So he's playing great defense.
When you watch him play, does he remind you of anybody at that position?
He reminds me of Omar Vizquel, the way he handled the shortstop position. But he reminds me a lot of Carl Ripken too. The way he is, he's kind of tall kid, he's strong. So he reminds me of Carl Ripken.
Would Hanley Ramirez be a little bit too much to ask for?
Oh, Hanley Ramirez already set in the big league the way I think I've seen Hanley, and Hanley had a little bit more power. He knows a little bit more about the game. But I think this kid, in the long run, is going to be as good as he is.
2 balls and a strike to Matt Wieters. Drive to left field. Fred Lewis over quickly, and he's got room, and he's there to make the catch. 1 out. Robbie, you always talk about Cito Gaston and his impact. We have seen Cito's impact with Fred Lewis this year. Talk about how he might be able to help Yunel Escobar make the adjustment here in the American League.
Well, it's going to help him a lot. The main thing for a ball player is to listen. You have to listen and learn. Learn from the best. To me, Cito, I always believe that he was my best hitting coach. And that's why I was so successful here in Toronto and during my career in baseball. I learned so much from him, but the main thing, you have to listen and you have to believe in yourself that you're going to go out there and do it.
What was the biggest thing you learned from him?
Well, tipping pitches. He was good at it. He would say, Robbie, this guy is tipping his pitches. And mentally, you have to be prepared to play this game every day. You have to come here, and when you fail, make sure next day you are ready to produce, and don't let the failure get you down. So keep your head up, and that's what he taught me too.
We saw Adam Lynn sitting next to Cito Gaston before his last at bat. You've been there before. Tell us through what kind of conversations you would have prior to an at bat when you were playing for Cito.
Well, prior to an at bat, we talk about the pitcher. This guy is tipping the pitches, especially this guy is open the glove in certain pitches. He's throwing maybe breaking balls in 1-0. Why you don't go out there and sit on breaking ball in 1-0? But it's up to you to do it. Some players don't have the confidence to go out there and believe in what he's telling you. And I did believe, and I had a lot of success.
Did he talk patterns, pitchers' patterns? And if he did, tell people what that means.
Well, yeah, he talked about pitching pattern. Like, for example, Mike Mussina had a pitching pattern. In the first at-bat, he worked with fastball changeups. In the second at-bat, he worked with curveballs and fastballs. So that's a pattern, and that's the thing that players need to learn. I know it's a real difficult, but like I said before, if you don't believe that the pitcher is he's gonna throw you those kind of pitches, so you cannot go out there with that mentality, because then you're gonna fail.
You have to have the confidence to stay with that pattern.
Yeah, you have to.
Felix P.A. takes the walk. First and second, 1 out here in the 5th inning. But you see this young ball club, and you came to Toronto, and the ball club was much more established when you got here. You were kind of like one of the final pieces to the puzzle. But talk about the way that Blue Jays are focusing on their young pitchers. How can that speed up their progression back to a contending ball club?
Well, I think right now, they're playing great baseball. Even though they're like 51 and 50 or something like that, I think they're playing great. they winning more with pitching and defense. I know that they haven't hit for average, but as long as they do the little things, they learn how to play the game the right way. Little by little, they're going to get better and better. And right now, the pitching is doing great. And if they can hit for a little bit more average, I think they're going to be contending.
Jake Fox, first pitch swinging, sneaks it through. No, Escobar, what a play!
Wow.
Looked a little bit like Robbie Alomar there.
That was great. You see what I tell you? The guy has a lot of ability, you know?
And he likes to have fun when he's on the diamond.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. See, he's having fun. He was playing Jake Fox to bowl. This looked like a sure single up the middle, but the range and the thought to go behind the back.
Well, that's the only play he has. And that's one of the things that everybody gonna like about him. He seems like the kind of guy, he reminds me of Robinson Cano in the New York Yankees. They go out there, they're gonna have fun, and sometimes people take that differently. They take it the wrong way. Yeah, the wrong way, like his cockiness. And no, it's that he's having a lot of fun, and I like that.
And the fans like that as well. Escobar with a fine defensive play, and he makes an easy play to get Ricky Romero out of the from his manager and his teammates. Robbie Alomar, break this down for us.
Wow, he go after the ball. The only chance he has is just to do that. Just catch the ball and flip it over behind his back and flip it to him. And Aaron Hill's lucky enough he was in the right place too. But what a play!
You mentioned Omar Vizquel. That was Vizquel-esque right there.
That was Omar Vizquel kind of play too. Let me tell you that.
And he got excited about it, but that's okay. We like to see emotion. That's the first time I have seen a standing ovation for a defensive play here for a long time.
Well, in the game, you have to enjoy the game to be successful in this game. Some people take this game. You can take it personal when you lose, when you go home, because I was a professional. I get paid to play this game of baseball, and I took it personal sometimes. But there's a time where you have to have fun, and it seems like he has a lot of fun playing the game.
Aaron Hill with a base hit up the middle. Hill starting to heat up. Well, talk a little bit about that, because so many people now are offended. Well, the player's a hot dog, and basically that's what cost Escobar his spot in Atlanta. They didn't like his flash. They didn't like his style, and it just, to me, that's the joy of watching a baseball play.
Well, you can enjoy the game, but at the same time, when you hit balls, you have to run the baseballs. I heard that he wasn't running, wasn't hustling. You have to hustle in the game of baseball every time you put that uniform on. And that play, the way he did it right. That's the only play he had. And, he seemed like he's a young kid that's going to get better and better. And people will knowing later on that he's not doing it as a cockiness. He's doing it because he loves the game and he's having fun.
We asked you this a lot, so I have to ask you this since we're talking about Escobar. When you see young players like this, you have so much to offer in the game of baseball, I think. Would that be something that would interest you to go to the minor leagues and teach these kids how to win?
I would love to. I would love to because especially guys like Escobar. He's a young guy, and people have to realize that he's coming from another country. He don't speak English. He only speaks Spanish, and it's tough to understand him sometimes. So with a guy like him, I think I can sit down with him and help him in that way and make him feel comfortable when he goes to play on the field and make him feel comfortable when he's in the clubhouse with the other guys.
That's a great point. You grew up with your father, of course, who was a big leaguer. He spoke English and Spanish at home. So even when you came for your first minor league assignment, it had to be a cultural adjustment for you as well.
Oh, no, it was tough because I didn't have a fluent English. I was learning the language at the time. But I had a goal. I have a mind goal set that all I wanted to do is to play the game of baseball. But at the same time, I want to learn how to speak English, how to get to know the other players. And I wasn't afraid to talk to other players. And that's what helped me a lot.
Cesar Torres makes the final out of the inning. Robbie Alomar, always great to see you. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you, Buck. Thank you, man.
Buddy, great to see you.
Thank you.
Blue Jay fans who have a perfect perspective to watch Yunel Escobar play short. They are there courtesy of TD Canada Trust. You talk about a beautiful seat, great perspective, field level to watch Escobar do his thing. How about that? Escobar doing it with Alomar in the booth.
Talking about it, that's got to be the play of the game.
Wow.
Or the play of the day tonight.
Or the play of the week, or the play of the month, because that certainly robbed the Orioles of a scoring opportunity. Julio Lugo, the leadoff batter, 0 for 2 tonight against Ricky Romero. Takes the first pitch strike. Orioles just couldn't get anything going in last night's game. Brandon Morrow really snuffed out the momentum in the 4th inning when he stranded the bases loaded. And tonight, Yunel Escobar. Ricky Romero drops a big hook on Lugo, 0-2.
Yeah, let's don't forget about what Ricky Romero is doing tonight. You could tell from the first pitch that he had a good fastball, and his curveball is the best that I've seen in about 3 or 4 starts.
He's got a lot of depth on that breaking ball, and it's coming out of his hand in a real good plane. No balls and 2 strikes. Lugo stays alive. Well, look at John Buck.
What is he doing?
Lugo was going to hit that like we did as kids. Throw it up and hit it. Watch John Buck's technique here. Perfect. Textbook technique. And then Lugo says, you know what? Maybe I got a better chance of doing this. A ball and 2 strikes to Julio Lugo. Close but low. Blue Jays lead 6-0. Ricky Romero holding the Orioles to just 2 hits. Right back to Romero. Underhand toss to first. 1 out.
Well, you got to win with pitching and defense, and we have seen some tremendous defense from Yunel Escobar since he arrived from Atlanta after the All-Star break. Great range, great arm, soft hands. Never seems to panic when he is out on the field.
And this play right here is phenomenal. Backhand, flip behind the back, right on the money for the force out. Looks like a base hit all the way. Miguel Tejada past the diving Aaron Hill into center.
You could win an all-new Honda CRZ and other great prizes when you vote for the Honda Play of the Month. Vote today at BlueJays.com.
Yunel Escobar has had a big night at the plate, 2 for 3, and scored a couple of runs and made a highlight reel defensive play at short. 1 out for Nick Markakis. Takes the first pitch inside. Markakis 0 for 2 tonight. Orioles just haven't been able to do anything against the Blue Jays all year long. They have lost 10 straight and trail 6-0 here. 2-0.
Markakis has had great success against left-handed pitching this year. He is hitting .293 overall on the season. But this year versus the lefties, one of the better batting averages in the American League. .347 versus left-handed pitching this year.
Now that's why you can hit him in the 3rd spot. You don't worry about moving him around. He is truly their best hitter. Left-handers don't phase him one bit. 2 balls and a strike. Driven to left field. Fred Lewis off his glove. Looked like that ball got in the light bank above the Orioles dugout. And you could see him telling Vernon Wells, yep, got in the lights. He was very tentative as he got to that ball. Looked like he was going to be able to make the catch.
Comes hard. He's there, but just doesn't get the glove out far enough to corral that one from Nick Markakis. It will go as a base hit by Markakis. 4th hit of the night for the Orioles. It's a bad feeling when you're out there and that ball gets up in the lights.
1st and 2nd, 1 out now. Luke Scott 0 for 2. Ricky Romero trying to pick up Fred Lewis here. He can't come up with a ground ball. Blue Jays haven't turned a double play yet. Good curveball. Romero jumps ahead. You're right. This is the best curveball we have seen in a while from Ricky Romero.
It's sharp. It's late breaking. He's controlling it. He's throwing it where he wants to. The ones that are bouncing up there with 2 strikes, that's by design.
No balls and a strike to Luke Scott. There's another good curveball. Romero seems much more patient in his mechanics tonight. Very deliberate but smooth at the same time.
That is the one thing that they have really worked on. Bruce Walton, Rick Langford, the pitching coaches for the Blue Jays, teaching Ricky Romero not to rush. Stay back in your stuff. Let your arm catch up with your legs, and the stuff will come out free and easy, as opposed to being forced.
Romero was all set, and then he had second thoughts about that pitch he was about to throw. Rick Langford in the bullpen. He and Bruce Walton make quite a team. Do a great job with his pitching staff. No balls and 2 strikes. Scott wouldn't chase. First and second, 1 out. Tejada at second, Markakis at first. Another good breaking ball, but Scott lays off.
At some point, he's going to have to show a fastball. He's thrown him 4 straight breaking balls. And Luke Scott, when he gets into 2-strike mode, he really shortens up. He'll choke up the bat. Just try and put it in play. He hit a breaking ball last night for a home run.
Scott's hitting .293. Much higher than his career average. He's had a good season. 17th home run came in last night's game. He is a very meticulous note taker. After every at bat, he'll sit down on the bench and make notes about the previous at bat. What Ricky Romero threw him, what the count was, and what he tried to do to put him away.
He did that while he was a member of the Cleveland Indians in their organization in the minor leagues. Put that little note of what they're trying to do to him.
Bounced past first in foul ground. I had a little notebook when I played. It was very short, very sweet. Can't hit them. Didn't take me long to fill it out. Can't hit him. Can't hit him.
Well, I know you can hit Aurelio Rodriguez or Aurelio Lopez. We saw that last night.
Yeah. We're going to show you that again next week. 2 balls and 2 strikes, 1 out here. Luke Scott takes a fastball just off the corner.
There's the fastball I was talking about. You knew he was at some point was going to have to throw him a fastball, and he had him set up for it. You see Luke Scott flinch just a little bit. He got it by him, but it was just off the plate.
Got to throw him a strike here. 3-2, 1 out. Wouldn't expect the Orioles runners to run on this pitch. Strike 3 call. Inside fastball, and Scott is caught looking. Romero gave him a steady diet of curveballs and then finished it off with a good fastball inside.
Gives up on it, but it is punched out by Alfonso Marquez on the inner half. 4 strikeouts tonight now for Romero.
Adam Jones, the center fielder, is 2 for 2 against Ricky Romero. He hits with 2 outs and 2 on. Changeup taken low. Again, this is one thing that has plagued the Orioles all season long against the Blue Jays, their inability to come up with big hits. They get base runners on. Last night they stranded 9, but they can't really take advantage of all those opportunities.
Well, since the All-Star break, they have played 11 games. They have lost 9 of them. And they have hit 149 with runners in scoring position, stranding 77 runners over those 11 games. Can drive a manager crazy.
Yeah. You can see Brian Roberts to Juan Samuel's left. Roberts just off the disabled list. He's had back issues all year long, so they're going to make sure they don't get him sore in his return, so he gets the night off here tonight. Curveball cut on and missed by Jones. Ricky Romero back out in front.
That ball started up and away to Adam Jones. He didn't give up on it, stay right with it, and by the time it broke down and where John Buck caught it was in the batter's box, back by his back leg. Shows you the kind of curveball that Romero has tonight.
Romero trying to finish off the Orioles here in the 6th. Bounced in the dirt. 2-2. Got him. Went upstairs, a little extra on the fastball. Ricky Romero strikes out 2 to end the inning here in the 6th. The Orioles.
Blue Jay hit a grand slam, and it was very fitting. We had Robbie Alomar up in the booth, a good defensive play by the shortstop, Yunel Escobar. On Sunday, July 18th, in a 10-1 win over Kansas City in the 2nd inning, he hit the last grand slam. At Michael D. Baird from British Columbia, you're our winner, and you win an autographed baseball from none other than, there he is, Yunel Escobar. Congratulations, as Tweeting Tuesdays continues here at the Rogers Center.
Fred Lewis rips a curveball. One hopped right to his stores at shortstop. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the 6th. Yunel Escobar, the only grand slam hit by the Blue Jays this year.
That's hard to believe, isn't it?
Many home runs as they did. It's the newcomer that hit the first grand slam.
He has also had now 5 multi-hit games since he became a member of the Blue Jays. 2 more singles tonight. He's also scored a couple of runs. What a weapon they have at the top of the lineup.
Another base hit for Escobar. Got the high changeup. He is 3 for 4 tonight. Blue Jays now have 10 hits. The 8th time they have had double-digit hits since the All-Star break.
With no runners on, he's very aggressive. Gets this hanging changeup and rips it by Tejada for hit number 3. Hitting is contagious up and down the lineup. Talk about the multi-hit games and the double-digit hit games. It's contagious for everyone.
Jose Bautista has 3 hits, including his 29th home run of the season. Deep, but just foul. My, was that a line drive.
Whew. That looked like your 2-iron the other day on the golf course. As fast as that ball got out of here. Watch him get the head out and hook this thing. That took about 2 seconds.
Out in front, curveball lifted down the left field line. That's trouble if it's fair, but it's into the seats.
Well, if you fall behind Jose Bautista, you've got to come in with a fastball. This is what he can do to him. Turns on this fastball, launches it into the seats. He is up there also with the most home runs through the team's first 100 games. Blue Jays played game number 100 yesterday. Carlos Delgado has the record with 32 home runs. Tony Batista has 31. George Bell in that great season in '87 had 30. Jose Bautista has 28 in the first 100 games this year. Impressive.
No balls and 2 strikes. Lays off that breaking ball. Change up, down and away. 2-2. Joey Votto of the Reds leads the National League with 25 home runs. Joey Votto, of course, also from Toronto. Reds are having a phenomenal season. A lot to do with the success of Joey Votto. So Votto is second in the major leagues in home runs to Jose Bautista.
He had one to hit right there, too. 2-2 off-speed pitch. He's got that high leg kick that he uses as a timing mechanism, just in case the pitcher throws a breaking ball. The whole thing is to get that leg down when that ball is right in the hitting zone.
There goes the base runner. Broken bat, foul down the left side. Escobar was on the move.
You know, I don't know what he's going to do in this at-bat with 2 strikes, but he is seeing the ball really well. It's a laser down the left field line, foul. Stays on that one, hits that one foul. He has tried change-ups, he's tried curveballs, he's tried fastballs, and this at-bat alone, and Jose Bautista has been on everything.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Jose Bautista. Perfect 3 for 3 tonight. He's seeing it well. Never even offered it that pitch down and away. It's a full count. Escobar at first. There he goes. Fouled back to the screen. Escobar was off on the pitch. Six nothing. Blue Jays lead the Orioles. 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. There goes Escobar. Ball 4. Commentator clothing provided in part by Z Zenya. Statistical information provided by Stats Inc. Music provided by Universal Canada. Juan Samuel has come out of the Orioles dugout. Kevin Millwood will hand the ball off to Samuel as Millwood leaves with 2 runners on, and he has allowed 10 hits. The Orioles trail 6-0.
two-time MVP. And let's talk a little bit about your career. Big Blue Jays fan growing up?
Oh, of course. The back-to-back World Series were huge. They were fun to be around.
Who was your favorite player?
Kelly Gruber by far.
What about Pat Tabler, Buck Martinez?
No, love the locks, so Kelly Gruber.
Sorry, guys. Although Tabler did have nice locks in those days. Let's talk a little bit about this team and what you're preparing for and when does it all get going?
This is a women's national baseball team. We're going to Venezuela. We leave August 9th. It's for the World Cup. Hoping to bring back a gold medal for the first time.
And talk a little bit about getting involved at a young age. If a girl wants to play baseball, what were the steps that you took and what would you suggest?
I started off in T-ball and then moved to softball, then on to baseball. But now a lot of the girls start in T-ball and move to baseball. Currently, our team plays in the TBA against the boys' loop. And we also have a junior program. And so if you contact Andre Lachance, if you go to the Baseball Canada website, you can get information there. But in and around our area, we play against guys. There's also a girls' league. So there's a lot of options.
Well, it's great to see that you're here. We wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much.
The women's national baseball team will head to Venezuela. They'll play from the 12th to the 22nd of August, looking for their first world title and a gold medal. Guys?
Good luck, girls, and hopefully that'll be a great trip to Venezuela. Everybody knows what a great baseball country Venezuela is, and that should be a lot of fun. 2 outs now as Mike Gonzalez got Vernon Wells to pop up. Adam Lynn's had a tough night. 3 strikeouts on the heels of a 3-hit night last night. Facing Mike Gonzalez, the left-hander. A ball and a strike. Fouled off the glove of Matt Wieters. Gonzalez making his 3rd appearance since being activated off the disabled list.
Last time the Blue Jays saw him, he blew his 2nd save of the season. That was way back on April the 9th. Was put on the DL after that. It's the first time we have seen him now since then.
You could tell it wasn't right for Gonzalez. He didn't have much velocity, had no command whatsoever. He went on the DL, got healthy, and he's back now trying to pitch his way into more meaningful situations.
Signed this year for the Orioles, a 2-year contract to be their closer. Got off to just an awful start. When he is healthy, though, his stuff is pretty good coming out of that bullpen late in ball games.
Well, he made 80 appearances last year for Atlanta. That was the 3rd highest games pitched in the major leagues. Breaking ball hit deep to right center field. Adam Jones over and makes the catch short of the warning track. Gonzalez comes in and gets 2 outs and strands a couple of base runners. Ricky Romero with a 6-0 lead. highlights. A-Rod still chasing 600, sporting that sore hand after he got hit 2 nights ago. All the highlights right after this ball game. Stay tuned for Connected. Ricky Romero set to work the 7th inning here. He is shutting out the Orioles on just 4 hits. Matt Wieters 0 for 2 tonight with a strikeout.
We were talking earlier this game about Romero and how he has improved, all the numbers that he has improved on. He has also improved against left-handed hitters this year. Lefties last year hit almost 300 against Ricky.
There's a high breaking ball. Wieters hits it into left field. Leadoff single here in the 7th. Check in with Sam Cosentino.
Buck, we have a BlackBerry Tweeting Tuesday question, and it's directed at you. At JStick65 asks, I always hear the term sitting on a pitch. What exactly does that mean?
That's a great question, and oftentimes we forget to kind of explain ourselves. Sometimes we'll use the inside terminology, but sitting on a pitch, we'll get to that. Robbie Alomar actually talked about it when he joined us early in the ball game, how Cito Gaston taught him how to sit on a pitch. And what it means is just looking for a pitch in a particular at bat, and that's the only pitch you're focused on. Felix P.A. wasn't focused on that breaking ball. It's 0-2.
You are looking for a certain pitch, a certain type of pitch. Fastball, slider, curveball, change, splitter, whatever it is.
And the reason you do that is because there has been a pattern established by the pitcher. He might be throwing a particular pitch very well that night. You have to sit on it. You have to look for that one pitch. It's very difficult to hit in the major leagues if you're looking for 2 or 3 pitches every at bat. Almost impossible.
It is impossible because I've tried it.
Yeah.
And that's when you're in a slump, when you start thinking too much, looking for too many different pitches.
So when you sit on a pitch, you step into the batter's box, you say, okay, Romero's going to throw me a curveball. Well, you don't swing at every curveball. You swing at a strike curveball. A ball and 2 strikes. There's a curveball, strike 3. You couldn't swing at that one. That started right at PA's shoulder and broke over the heart of the plate.
Just froze him. A lot like the rest of the Orioles this year. Look at these numbers against the O's.
You look at those numbers, and that is including his outing here tonight. ERA 0.40 through 22 1/3 innings. He's had a cushion here tonight. There's another good changeup. Jake Fox way out in front. Jose Bautista put Romero up 3-0 with the 3-run home run in the 1st inning. Bautista with his 29th.
We should have put strikeouts on that last board we showed also. 3 games so far. He's struck out 18 Baltimore Orioles.
Bounced foul. Ricky Romero had a complete game on the 30th of May. He gave up a 1st inning run on a Nick Markakis RBI base hit and then shut down the Orioles the rest of the way. He won that game 6-1. Fox goes down swinging. Another good curveball. Romero's had a great hook all night long. 7th strikeout for Romero.
If it's working, keep going to it. He struck out Julio Lugo, the first batter of the game, with a good curveball, and he keeps going back to it when he goes to 2 strikes. Why not?
Back-to-back strikeouts with a man at first. Cesar Asturias. And cut fastball. Hadn't thrown many of those pitches tonight and hadn't had to. But that cut fastball or slider, if you will, that's the pitch that aggravated his pitching hand last time out against the Orioles. Had a little blister, little hot spot on that middle finger of his pitching hand.
I think we showed it in the opening. It was like a slider or a cutter, he was telling us after that game. Said it was the best one he had ever thrown ever to pick up a strikeout, but he felt it right after that pitch.
A late swing at a inside pitch. His Stewart's in a hole, a ball and 2 strikes. Starting pitching has been exceptional last 2 times through the rotation. Curveball, strike 3. In the dirt, John Buck will have to make the throw to first. His Stewart's is retired. Romero strikes out the side. He's got 8 in the ball game. Burger King, home of the Whopper.
Well, this is simple. 5th inning. Sit back and enjoy it. You'll see 3 different angles, and every time it gets better and better.
Looks like a base hit headed for center field. Escobar turns it into a force out, snuffs out an Oriole rally. Visit BlueJays.com/Burger King to register for a chance to win prizes with the Burger King Super Fan Contest. Aaron Hill bounces the curveball foul. Mike Gonzalez came in to the game with 1 out in the 6th inning and retired Vernon Wells and Adam Lynn. Stranded 2 base runners. The ball is popped up over near the Orioles dugout. Jake Fox in front of the wall and makes the catch. 1 out. Check in with Sam Cosentino.
Well, Buck, at the start of the broadcast, we tried to debunk a few theories of why the ball flies so well out of here. But one of the theories with all the players I talked to is the fact that this is such a great hitting background, and that enables you to really pick up the ball well, and from there make better contact. The result of better contact, harder hit balls and more home runs. Although we've only seen 1 tonight to a man, everyone here that I've talked to today said this is a great background to hit it.
That's the hitter's eye beyond the fence in center field. I've only talked to 1 ball player that played in this ballpark that didn't like hitting here. And it'll surprise you to hear that it was Wade Boggs.
That guy could hit anywhere.
Yeah, he just didn't feel comfortable in this ballpark. And we've talked about this in the past. To get to a particular ballpark, you just don't feel right. It seems as though the batter's box is cockeyed or home plate is cockeyed. It just doesn't set up comfortably for you.
Metrodome was like that. Tiger Stadium was like that for me. I don't know if it was for you.
Bouncing ball. 2 big hops for Lugo at second. Overbay is retired.
But in this ballpark, I think the background, you've got this big third of a dome sitting behind you in a great background. That's what the hitter, where the ball is coming out of. It's a great place to see the ball.
How does it help a hitter, given the fact that it's enclosed and it seems like everything is close, in open-air ballparks, obviously, it just goes on forever beyond defense.
That's what I was trying to say. The depth perception that you feel when you're standing at home plate with that big backdrop feels like the pitcher is, well, the ball is like huge coming in there because of that background.
I should have played here.
Before Oakland built the football stands out in center field of the Oakland Alameda Coliseum, that gave the perception that the pitcher was way far away because of that openness out in center field.
Yeah, the Oakland Hills were way beyond the stadium, but it looked like the fence was miles away in that ballpark. John Buck, 0-2. Just a little bit high from Gonzalez. And that's the way you just get a feeling that everybody's comfortable here. And you know what? You can hit here all the time. A lot of extra batting practices taken here by both teams. John Buck swings the ball, gets away from Matt Waiters. Buck's going to reach first base. A strikeout, and Buck goes to first on the wild pitch.
Told you that Mike Gonzalez has good stuff when he's healthy. This one bounces right off the top of the plate, goes right over the head of Matt Wieters, the catcher. John Buck alertly sees that and hustles his way to first base. Credit Gonzalez with a strikeout.
John Buck's got a lot of fans here at Rogers Center. Edwin Encarnacion lays off the high breaking pitch. John Buck's had a phenomenal season his first year with the Blue Jays. A ball and a strike to the Blue Jays third baseman, Edwin Encarnacion. Encarnacion hitting .245. Been on a hot streak. Off speed pitch taken for a ball.
Talked to Dwayne Murphy about that today, and I asked him, what do you see from Edwin Encarnacion? He says he's getting good movement with his hands. Before he was hitting from stationary position. Now he's got some movement.
He drills that one to center, but right at Adam Jones, and the inning is over. Mike Gonzalez picks up a strikeout, but has to get 4 outs in the inning. Ricky Romero in charge. Ricky Romero pulling the shutout here. He's allowed just 5 hits over 7 innings, walked 1 batter, and punched out 89 pitches through 7 innings.
That's the impressive part about so far the start for Ricky Romero. Pitching into the 8th inning. The last time Romero threw 8 innings, you have to go all the way back to June the 23rd against the Cardinals, when he threw 8 shutout innings versus St. Louis and picked up a no decision in that game.
Romero has 2 complete games this year, both coming in May. Had a complete game against the Rangers, and also on the 30th of May against this same Oriole ball club. There's a first pitch base hit into center for Julio Lugo. Leadoff base hit here in the 8th. We mentioned Romero's pitch count in very good shape. He's been economical. Started off with an 8-pitch first inning. So Lugo's aboard.
You know what's impressive about that? Now 90 pitches that he has thrown. The 8 strikeouts. Usually when you have 8 strikeouts, you are up over 100, 110 as you pitch into the 8th inning. Key for Romero tonight, just 1 walk.
Broken bat. That's going to be a base hit into center field in front of Wells. Lugo stops at second. 2 on, nobody out in the 8th. Let's check in with Sam Cosentino.
Well, Buck, with Blackberry Tweeting Tuesdays coming to a close, we'd like to remind you that the next edition will be Tuesday, August 10th, when the Boston Red Sox pay a visit to the Rogers Center at 7:07. You can interact with all 3 of us here in the Rogers Sportsnet broadcast team during the game. Great prizes to be won. First pitch, autographed merchandise, or Tweeting Tuesday T-shirts. Call 416-341-1234. Check out BlueJays.com or most Rogers Plus locations for tickets to the next Blackberry Tweeting Tuesday.
Nick Markakis jumps on the first pitch and drills it to the gap, and that's not going to be caught. At the base of the wall in center field. Here comes Lugo. Tejada stops at third, and the Orioles are on the board. Nick Markakis with a double to the fence in center. Drives home the first Oriole run of the night.
His second hit of the night, jumping on that first pitch. Lugo did it, and now Markakis does it. About a belt-high fastball driven to the base of the wall in right center field. And very quickly, some action in the bullpen for the Blue Jays as Markakis has his 33rd double of the season. The Orioles are in business in the 8th.
Well, Bruce Walton is going to go out just to buy some time for the bullpen. Everything kind of happened in a hurry. Scott Downs quickly loosening up as the Orioles have strung together 3 hits and scored a run here to start the 8th. Short and sweet, that's the message from Bruce Walton. Second and third, nobody out. Tejada singled, Markakis doubled. Luke Scott was caught working his last time up. Boy, a good curveball for a strike. That's a beautiful get-ahead curveball. Bounced and smothered by John Buck. Angel Campos said no swing. Very important inning for Ricky Romero. Obviously, you're in the meat of the order. Orioles have scored a run already. Nobody out. Might be the Orioles' last good chance to get back in this ball game.
What is Ricky Romero doing right now as he tries to navigate his way through this predicament?
Just get an out. You need 3 outs in this inning before they score 5 runs.
That's right. You don't want to start thinking about Adam Jones, the on-deck hitter, or Matt Wieters coming up. You're thinking about Luke Scott right here. How can I retire him? Anyway, even a ground ball to the second baseman, a run score.
Blue Jays need 6 outs.
They're counting them down right now.
Luke Scott, 2 balls and a strike. Stays on the breaking ball, hits it hard to right field, right at Bautista. Tejada tags at third. He'll come, and Nick Markakis is out at third. No run scores as Tejada didn't beat the tag at third.
That's only 2 outs, isn't it? Wait a minute.
That's only two outs.
Yeah. Wait a minute. There was no outs up. Single,
There's
single,
2 outs.
double. That's only 2 outs in the inning.
And that's Gonzalo Marquez is saying, okay,
Sure.
his run scores,
Yeah.
that run counts. Marquez is out at third, but the umpire immediately waved off the run.
He thought there was 1 out, and that was an inning-ending double play. The Blue Jays thought that, too. There were nobody out.
How about that throw?
Oh, my goodness.
Tejada's tagging. He's going to score easily. But look at the throw to third. Easy out of Marquez.
Accurate and on a fly. Forget about the cutoff man when you're trying to get the guy at third base. That is a rally killer play right there by Jose Bautista. Wow.
What a throw. He made a great throw last night to get Jake Fox at second, and tonight he nails a very good base runner, Nick Marquez, at third. 2 outs. And that's exactly what we talked about. Just give me outs.
Yep.
Okay, how many runs to score as long as it's not 5.
I didn't think he had a chance to get Marquez. Obviously no way to get Tejada at the plate. Marquez trying to move up with just 1 out. Credit Bautista not taking anything for granted and going ahead and making a good strong throw to get him. That's a rally killer.
Well, that happened to the Orioles last night too. And look at Bautista fighting back a smile. He's had another big night here tonight. You know what? You mentioned not taking anything for granted. Jose Bautista has never done that. He's been a Rule 5 player 3 times. He's played on 4 different clubs in 1 year. He can't afford to take anything for granted.
But he is in such a groove right now with the bat, with his arm, his fielding. He gets great jumps. Talked to a scout today about Bautista. He says he makes great routes to the ball. I'm trying to figure out where he's more valuable, in right field or third base.
I think he's more valuable in right field. I think it allows him to stay fresh in the outfield. You don't have the rigors of playing a very intense defensive position, the hot corner at third. He can get out there and kind of free his mind up.
Think about hitting a little bit.
I think it's a good spot for him. 3-2, 2 outs. Sharply hit into left field. Adam Jones has had a big night. His 3rd hit of the night. Well, Cito Gaston makes the call. He's got Scott Downs ready. Ricky Romero's night will come to an end. 7 2/3 innings for Romero. He's in line for his 8th win of the season. He did a good job shutting down this Oriole team. He's looking for his 3rd win in a man at first base and 2 outs. Ricky Romero going 7 2/3. Turn things over to a well-rested bullpen.
Scott Downs was being used a lot on the road trip. Kansas City, Detroit comes to mind. The last time we saw him was in Game 1 of that doubleheader on Sunday versus Detroit. He came in a big situation bases loaded, and picked up 2 big strikeouts to help save that game for the Blue Jays. They would go on to win that. Romero has had a great outing today, pitching into the 8th inning. And now it's up to the bullpen.
Downs will face Matt Wieters with Adam Jones at first. First pitch strike. Scott Downs threw 13 pitches in his 2/3 of an inning of work against the Tigers on Sunday.
He walked Brennan Bosch to load the bases, but then came up with 2 big strikeouts. That game was saved in the 8th inning.
Bouncing ball left side. Encarnacion to second, just in time to get Adam Jones. Scott Downs doesn't waste any time. He comes out of the bullpen and retires the first batter he faces. Defensive play. Great throw to third base to nail Nick Markakis trying to advance. Another big night with the bat. Another big night with the arm.
Did the same thing last night. A home run and threw a runner out at a base. Alfredo Simon takes over in this ball game. 28 games this season. He is the closer now for the Baltimore Orioles. Big arm. Good numbers all the way around for Simon.
He hasn't pitched since last Friday against the Minnesota Twins. Worked an inning in that ball game. Gave up a hit and nothing more. Top of the order, Lewis, Escobar, and Bautista. What a night they've had. They're hogging all the hits.
2 for Lewis, 3 for Escobar, 3 more for Bautista.
8 hits for the top 3 in the order. 8 of the 10 hits. Fred Lewis up to 282. Escobar on deck. Bautista in the hole. 3 hits for Bautista. 3 hits for Escobar. 3 hits for Lewis. Simone comes in and gives up the leadoff base hit here in the 8th. Well, I tell you what, this lineup looks so much different now. And we talked about Lewis all year long, but since Escobar has joined the team, he is now hit in 10 straight games. Cito Gaston didn't hesitate to put him in the second spot. He said, we're going to see how he does there. This just in. He's doing okay.
It works. You know, it's a different dynamic with the added speed at the top of the lineup and a player who can hit home runs. Hit 14 of them last year for the Atlanta Braves, but he can handle the bat. He's got a good eye. They can hit and run with him. strike quickly. Does that come to mind when you think about this offense now at the top of the lineup?
There's so much balance in the attack. Brendan Wells had a 2-run double in the fourth. Cito Gaston's got balance, lefty, righty, up and down the order, and a little more speed top of the order. I won't be surprised if they start the runner here in this at bat. A ball on the strike. Cito Gaston looking out to Brian Butterfield. That's the universal sign for let him hit.
No bunting. You don't need to steal. Go ahead and swing away.
There's a ball in the dirt. Throw to second base. Not in time. Lewis with the steal. His 11th of the season.
Simone looks like he is very deliberate to the plate. High leg kick. Gets rid of it. Lewis steals it with that great speed. Gets himself into scoring position. On the pitch home, it was called a strike on a check swing. That was by first base umpire Tim Timmons.
A ball and 2 strikes to Escobar. Nobody out here. Big run there at second base. Strikes him out. Hard split finger pitch down and away. Escobar goes down swinging.
Right fielder, number 19.
Simone has kicked around with a couple of different teams. He was signed by the Philadelphia Phillies as a non-drafted free agent back in 1999. Traded to the Giants in 2004. Signed by the Orioles as a minor league free agent. And boy, hasn't he turned out to be a nice find.
Jose Bautista bends back from a breaking ball. He thought it was up and didn't waste any time telling Alfredo Marquez about it. Alex Anthopoulos, the GM. I'm surprised he doesn't have a phone to his ear. He's probably getting more phone calls than anybody right now. Another breaking ball for a strike.
Maybe he's been on the phone all night. Trade deadline coming up a couple of days.
A ball and strike to Bautista. Just off the plate. Simone thought it was a strike. Lewis a single and a stolen base. He's in scoring position at second. That same pitch was a strike in the first pitch of the at-bat. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bautista with 3 RBIs tonight has driven home 73. Breaking ball lifted to left field. This is high. This is deep. This is gone. Home run, Jose Bautista. Number 30.
Is he locked in, or is he locked in right now? 3 hits against Kevin Millwood and a walk. And now with the hard-throwing closer, Simone into the ballgame, keeps that front shoulder in, not intimidated at all by a 6'5" guy throwing 96 miles an hour. Stays right on the ball and hammers it to left field.
Well, that's a high breaking ball and probably a ball, but boy, did he go up and get it and knocked it right out of the ballpark. 5 RBI for Bautista. He now has 75. Delman Young went into the night's action in 4th in the American League with 75 ribbies. The league leader has 88.
The first to 30.
a stroke he's got going right now.
What a month of July. Got to be the player of the month. And we still have a few games left.
Fifth multi-home run game of the season for Bautista. His 7th career multi-homer game. A 4-pitch walk after the home run. Well, those are 2 big runs to get those runs back that the Orioles scored in the top half of the inning, and making it a 6-run lead. But what about the top of the lineup tonight?
Raking and producing. How many runs have they scored now?
8. All 8 runs.
All of them.
After the game, they're going to sign autographs and kiss babies.
Fred Lewis got it all started with a single his first time up. He's got 3 knocks today and 3 runs scored. Escobar's got 3 hits. He scored a couple.
There's that good splitter. A ball and a strike to Adam Lind. Escobar with 2 runs scored. He has 3 singles to left. You talk about some table centers. Listen, you keep getting on base like that, and we're going to have a lot of fun in the second half.
What did we say what would happen if Escobar can get that on-base percentage the way he is? Bautista's going to have a lot of RBI chances.
Yeah, and he has taken off since Escobar has joined this club.
Does Jose Bautista remind you of a late bloomer, a player who finally gets a chance to play and produce?
Yeah, no question about it. When you look at what he has done the last 3 seasons, you combine the 08 and 09 season, he had 28 home runs. This year, in 355 at-bats, he surpassed that number. 22 doubles, 75 RBI. I mean, it is truly a hitter coming into his own. And you talk to people that have played with him in the past, and they all saw this kind of talent, just didn't have this opportunity. And it started last September. Bouncing ball to Lugo. Shortstop for 1, back to first, double play. But the Blue Jays add on 2 more runs. Jose Bautista's had a big night. A 3-run homer in the first, number 29. A 2-run shot here in the 4 home runs, 9 RBIs, and just for good measure, he's made 2 terrific throws the last 2 nights.
Great plays in the outfield. You mentioned those throws. That's a month for some people right there, the 4 home runs and 9 RBIs. He's done it in 3 games.
Well, he's had a great year. Scott Downs will try to wrap things up here in the ninth. He got the only batter he faced, Matt Wieters, to hit into an inning-ending fielder's choice. Felix Pierre takes the first pitch strike. Blue Jays trying to make it 11 in a row against the Orioles. Oh, 2.
This is the first time in their history that they have gone at least 10-0 against a team right out of the chute to start the season. The 10-game win streak for the Blue Jays is the longest versus the Orioles since a club record. They had 13 in a row against the O's. That covered 2 seasons.
Last year, the Blue Jays split the 18 games with the Orioles. They went 9-9. Bounced foul. This is the 101st game for the Blue Jays. They'll have 61 after tonight. 2 games over 500 starting play, 51 and 49. I think at the start of the season, everybody thought that a 500 season would be a tremendous accomplishment. And it would be.
All the changes that they had from last season to this season. Think about all the question marks the Blue Jays had coming into this year with Halladay gone, and who's going to be the closer, who was going to start, what about the health of some of the young pitchers that were coming back.
First year general manager Alex Anthopoulos trying to get a feel for his ball club and the style of team he wants to put together. Young pitchers coming into their own. Who knew what Brandon Morrow was going to do as a starter? Brett Cecil started out in the minor leagues. Scott Downs strikes out Felix Pierre, first out of the night. By no means anybody ready to anoint this season a success. But boy, oh boy, to this point of the season, not bad.
It's been a great surprise. They have won games. They have got great pitching, and it's an exciting team to watch with the ability to hit the home runs. They're never out of any game. They've got some exciting young players that I think anybody would want to watch.
And that's really interesting. We saw a standing ovation tonight for a defensive play by Yunel Escobar.
I was going to say which one because we've seen a few of them tonight.
And he made a behind-the-back flip going away from second base towards center field. And then Bautista made a terrific throw to third to nail Nick Markakis trying to advance. But there are some exciting things going on with this team. A ball and a strike to Jake Fox. You've got a leadoff man that's among the league leaders. On base percentage, extra base hits. Now he has 11 steals. Cut on and missed by Jake Fox.
Fred Lewis has speed, but there's so much more to his game that we are watching as this season unfolds. The amount of power that he has in the bat. Still think of that ball he hit over the head of Austin Jackson in Detroit.
Jake Fox strikes out, and he is arguing with Marquez, and he might have fouled that ball off. Marquez didn't see it. Downs gets the strikeout, 2 outs here in the ninth.
Well, let's see if he did.
Kind of acted like he expected it to be a foul tip on Samuel, now out of the dugout. Now you see Tim Timmons down at first base, backing up the call at the plate. 2 down here. Back-to-back strikeouts. Cesar Asturias trying to keep the hopes alive for the Orioles. Takes a pitch outside. Want a little bit more good news?
Yes.
Kyle Drabek in Double-A, 6 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts.
Keep it coming.
He just keeps on improving. And I like the fact they're leaving him right where he is. He's had some year. 2 balls and no strikes. Cesar Asturias, 2 outs. Takes a strike.
Cedar talked about him a little bit before yesterday's game. The thought was maybe we would see him in September, but now they're saying, his innings are up there. Maybe he might take your advice and just say, hey, go home, go rest.
This should do it. Escobar is short to Oribe. Blue Jays win it. Scott Downs gets the last 4 outs of the game. Bautista hits 2 home runs and drives in 5. Escobar put on a show at the plate and behind the plate. And just for good measure, the leadoff guy scores 3 runs, Fred Lewis.
We're starting to see what this team is capable of, especially the top of the order with Lewis and Escobar leading the way with some speed, back control, and then setting it all up for that man right there, Jose Bautista, having a great series.
Now the Blue Jays win the first 2 games of this series. They have won 11 straight against Baltimore. Stay tuned for Connected. We'll see you tomorrow night.